Sandra Pearl's Composing Guidelines for Literary Analysis. Sandra Pearl is a professor of English at Herbert Lehman College and founder of the New York City Writing Project. These guidelines, which we adapted a bit from Dr. Pearl's original guidelines, will help you discover more of what is on your mind and almost on your mind about the stories you are writing about. If they seem artificial, think of them as exercises, but they are exercises that will help you to perform certain subtle but crucial mental operations that most skilled and experienced writers do naturally. This process will remind you to do these three things when you write. Continue writing even when you don't know where you are going. Periodically pause and ask, what's this all about? Periodically check what you have written against your internal sense of where you're going or what you wanted to say, your felt sense. The audio will guide you through our adapted version of Dr. Pearl's guidelines. If it feels too mechanical to follow them like this, remember that the goal is to teach you a procedure you can use on your own. But we can teach it best by giving you a taste of it in practice, which means trying it out first. It's hard to learn the guidelines alone because your old writing habits are so strong. After some practice with each of the directives or questions that follow, you'll be able to sense how to distribute your time yourself. Find a way to get comfortable. Shake out your hands, take a deep breath, settle into your chair, close your eyes if you'd like to, relax. Find a way to be quietly and comfortably aware of your inner state. Ask yourself, what's going on with me right now? Is there anything in the way of my writing today? When you hear yourself answering, take a minute to jot down a list of any distractions or impediments that come to mind. Now ask yourself, what are some basic things that I'm thinking about these stories? Of all the things I know about the stories, what might I like to write about now? What observations can I make about the stories that are non-controversial? No reasonable person would disagree with them. A person reading these ideas about the stories would immediately think, yes, this is true. When you hear yourself answering, jot down what comes. Maybe you get one thing, maybe a list. If you feel totally blocked, you may write down nothing. Even this can be taken further by asking yourself, what is this nothing all about? Ask yourself, now that I have a list, long or short, is there anything else I've left out? Any other piece I'm overlooking? Maybe even a word I like? Something else I might want to write about sometime that I can add to this list about the stories? Add anything that comes to mind. Whether you have one definite idea or a whole list of things, look over what you have and ask, what here draws my attention right now about the stories? What could I begin to write about, even if I'm not certain where it will lead? Or ask yourself, is there something here that might be controversial? Something that I could take a position on, which is not obvious? A position which a reasonable purpose person could disagree with? Take the idea, word, or item about the stories. Skip a few lines and add that item and start again. Save the writing you've done so far for another time. Imagine that you are writing to someone who is saying, "That's an interesting point of view. Now, prove it to me." Write about why your position on the stories makes sense. Now, taking a deep breath and settling comfortably into your chair, ask yourself, what are all the associations and parts I know about these stories? What can I say about them now? Take a look at your Venn diagrams for the stories. Think of your writing as if it's opening out, as if through a skylight in the ceiling, to a wider view. Reread everything you've written so far and ask, so what? When people read what you are writing now, they should say, I see why this argument matters. Spend as long as you need writing down these responses. Perhaps it will be a sustained piece of free writing or stream of consciousness, or perhaps separate bits, a long list, or notes to yourself. Now, having written for a while, interrupt yourself. Read everything over, skip down the page, and start again. Take a fresh look at the stories you are writing about. Grab hold of the whole argument you are making, not the bits and pieces, and ask yourself, what makes these stories interesting to me? What's important about the stories that I haven't said yet? What's the heart of this issue? Wait quietly for a word, image, or phrase to arise from your felt sense of the topic. Write whatever comes. Take this word or image and use it. Ask yourself, how does this come up in the stories? Describe the feeling, image, or word. As you write, let the felt sense deepen. Where do you feel that felt sense? In your head, stomach, forearms? Where in your body does it seem centered? Continue to ask yourself, is this right? Am I getting closer? Am I saying it? See if you can feel when you're on the right track. See if you can feel the shift or click inside when you get close. Oh, yes, this says it. If you come to a dead end, you can ask yourself, what makes this writing about these stories so hard for me? Or what's so difficult about this? Again, pause and see if a word, image, or phrase comes to you that captures this difficulty in a fresh way, and if it will lead you to some more writing. When you find yourself stopping, ask, what's missing? What hasn't yet gotten down on paper or into the computer? And again, look to your felt sense for a word or image. Write what comes to mind. When again you find yourself stopping, ask yourself, where's this leading? What's the point I'm trying to make about these stories? Again, write down whatever comes to mind. Once you feel you're near or at the end, ask yourself, does this feel complete? Look to your felt sense, your gut reaction, even to your body for the answer. Again, write down whatever answer comes to you. If the answer is no, pause and ask yourself, what's missing? And continue writing. Good luck on your journey to writing a literary analysis.